doing on this. I have that forward skin is made. I had to carve down a couple of ribs, get them to match up. Got the skin made, and the skin is supposed to go out to the tip, but again, you got that damn bend right there. There's a bend down on the wingtip. Had the same problem with the splices. You might as well just splice the skin and then smooth it out. We get a close-up view of that, and it's a bummer, you know. Unless it gives me a little more open view of what I'm doing now that I have to do this wing in a different manner. I went all the way down the leading edge of this wing and drew a line down the center line, so that'll tell me. That tells me what. See the masking tape down there? That tells me where my center line is. That's of my leading edge, so I'll carve to it. Alright, I believe I'm about to call it a night. Got quite a bit done today. Both wing tips are on. Pretty much done. Leading edge still ain't carved out. This is the skin job I ended up getting since I had to work around my problem before. I do have the skins on now. And tomorrow I'll carve these out, but you can see I spliced in these skins right here because of the bend. It's going to come out looking alright. You can see all the way down. I do have the auxiliary spar cap strips are on. I don't have any of the rib cap strips on. Back planking is done. Aft block is still missing. I can pretty much take this thing off the board tomorrow. I think it'll come off the board next. But that's the skin job I got now that I had to work around my other problem. And I'll shape the leading edge tomorrow. Good night. If you can see what's in front of you here is I worked mostly on the right hand side of this upper wing this morning and put the aileron in it, or built what is the basic aileron inside this wing. It's got the forward leading edge, place for the horn to go in, your control horn slide. And then you can see, you can pay attention, you can see the actual cutout of the aileron is the bottom side of the aileron. I haven't skinned the bottom side of the wing yet. You can still see outboard cutout, inboard cutout, horn. Alright. What you're seeing in front of you now is the very first aileron, right hand, upper wing, top side of the wing. This aileron's complete. This is the first aileron I've got complete. Now I transfer all of this knowledge to the other side, and then I'm sure the lowers will be close to being the same. Per the print they are. So what you're seeing there is it's still left in the wing. It's built right into the wing. And I'm not going to cut it out of the wing until I have the wing shaped, which I don't have yet. It's not completed. I still have to finish the bottom side. There's the bottom side of the aileron. The aileron's done. Bottom side of the aileron's done. It's ready to cut out. All I got to do is just hack it off of the trailing edge and right across the front, and that aileron will fall right out. Right now, what I have to do is go back to the center torque box, and I'm going to finish some work I want to accomplish on the center torque box, and then skin it so I can consider this one whole side of the wing finished and ready to shape. I don't think I showed this prior to doing this. I added a lot of beefed up to this. I wanted to add a little bit more to this, and I'm still going to add just a touch more. It isn't going to get all that heavy, but I plan on trying to tear the wings off this thing, so I'm going to beef it up just a little bit. And it's all balsa. You might be able to see discolorization. I did the back side of the front spars as well. Cap them off. So now this area has been beefed up considerably. I'm going to do the auxiliary spar. Same way, I'm going to cap it off in these 4 bays. And then I can consider that complete. Then I'll go ahead and I'll cap this off. I'll close this section off and I'll sheet that side of the wing. And then I can consider one half of the upper wing basically complete and ready for shaping. It's going to take me a little while to transfer all of this back to the other wing. If you can really see the difference between these two wings here. This side still has not got any aileron on it. You can see that it's wide open. I've still got quite a bit of work to do on that side. Alright, here's the bottom right hand side on the top wing. This side is basically done except for fine-tune, sanding out and fine-tuning the wing itself, forming the wing. Still haven't done the leading edge. As you can see, the aileron's built right into the wing. And I gotta make so many cuts and it'll fall out of there. But that's the whole aileron's basically there. I still got a little bit of aileron work to do, but it's pretty much done. Yeah, this is the bottom side. So you see here is the slot for the strut to support the upper wing on top of the lower wing, the outboard strut. Well, this is pretty much what it's going to look like after I fine-tune it, but this is what it'll look like before I cover it. So this is what a wing actually looks like before you cover it. Now you look at the difference on this, all the work done on this, all the skins are done on that. The center torque box is done, but then you go to the other side, that whole side's got to be done. So now, everything I learned on the right-hand side, now I'll transfer all of that to the left-hand side, because my print only had the aileron on the left-hand side. Or is it the right-hand side? I was trying to lose myself. They only had the aileron on the right-hand side. So now you transfer all of the information you gained on this side. Take all that and just transfer it to the other side. So now I got another, probably a good full day's work, a couple days work left on that wing over there, and then this upper wing's basically done. See if we can get a little bit closer. See, I still got the end tabs on. This thing's still wide open. Got a lot of aileron work. There was a lot of work to that aileron. See if I can give you a different top side view. That's the top side of the aileron. And all I have to do to get this out of here is cut right across the leading edge ribs and the trailing edge. And that thing will fall right out of there. It's built right, fitted right to the wing. That's nice when you can do that rather than build your aileron separately. You tend to have a mismatch problem. But that's going to work out pretty good. Here we are about 2 days later with a complete upper wing. Complete less. I have not cut out the ailerons yet. I'm going to leave that to the last because of handling around in this room and that. The ailerons can stay in the wings until I actually want to take them out. But this wing is complete, less ailerons. All formed out. The front skin problem I had, I pretty much solved that by doing what I had to do. But that is a complete wing. This is the top side. Here's the bottom side. You can see in the center the two little holes. That's where the combanes go into the wing, and then you drive the pin in through the back, or push the pin in through the back. I got the locking mechanism hole for the pin. There's a lock screw or a jam screw. Holds that pin into place. I got that drilled. This wing's done. All I got to do is just cut the ailerons off. And it's Miller time. Alright, so now we're ready to go ahead and build up the lower wing. So here we are looking at the print all over again. And we get to start all over with a brand new wing. So remember this? So that. 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 Couple of those. Oh hell, look at this. We got a bunch of those, pretty much. Let's just say, how about all that right there? There's your second wing. Oh, no, that's a rudder. We'll give you that. That's a rudder. I think there might be another. This here is probably horizontal, so we'll take those two out. So that's two less to worry about. But the rest of this is going to become. Oh no, no, we'll get you that one. There's another rudder piece. So that right there is going to become the lower wing. So onward. Here we are about, let's say 2-3 hours into the bottom wing. This is the bottom right hand side. You're going to build this bottom wing in a two-piece so you can put a dihedral in it. You can go to the most inboard rib. You can see it's got a slight angle to it. That's your dihedral. Both wings are going to have that. And then when you join them together, you just made them together at that same angle, and you'll put blocks on the outboard sides in order to maintain a certain angle of dihedral. So this wing's going together rather quickly. It's basically built up the same way. You really can't see this is just a basic wing right here. There's your outboard strut brace to accept the strut, to support the upper wing. And then this one here has a small rib up front. And I believe that's to beef up the area for the dowel installation for the wing saddle. Because this thing here, lower wing sits inside of the wing saddle of the fuselage. Okay, that was quick. But you're only building up one half at a time on the lower wing. So it looks like it's going to be quicker, but in reality it's going to be about the same amount of time. Plus, you got to do a join into all of this at the same time. But approximately took me a day. I started this morning. Took me about a day to get this wing. You know, and that's dicking around all day. That's not working my ass off. And I got this wing was built on the board and taken off, and now I just gotta do the lower skinning, get the aileron in there, and then this wing in particular has the front dowels for the saddle and the blocks to hold the wing into the saddle. So I got to do a little beefing up in here for this thing to set in the saddle of the plane itself. A little bit different. Top wing has the cabane and the pin. The bottom wing has 2 bolts, 2 dowels, and fit in the saddle. You'll see that later. So we're still working on the same wing. This is the bottom side of this wing. I have the front dowel. I put a hardwood piece in the front for the dowel that holds the wing in the saddle. Here's the 2 wing blocks. I still got to file them down. This is the lower side of the wing. The top side of the wing is basically done. This is the lower right hand wing. Ailerons in. I still have not formed this wing, but this wing is basically done on the top. As soon as I finish the bottom, get all the aileron and cap stripping and that done here, which aileron's basically done. I got the horns in, or the setups for the horns. I just have to do some fine tuning here, and this wing's just about done, and I can go to the other side. This is the lower right hand wing is pretty much completed. I'm going to go ahead and start building on the left hand side now. This wing is got its aileron in it, just not cut out. The leading edge is sanded. I just left the inboard side where the fuselage is going to cover it. I didn't shape it to try and keep see if it doesn't help me when I do my saddle situation. I'm going to leave it for now anyway. But this top and bottom, this wing is basically complete. The house is full of balls of dust from sand and everything. But I'd say this one's complete. I'm just going to move on now. Before I forget, this is still the same wing. This hardwood block wing doweling and all that is pretty much complete in here right now. This section is going to stay unskinned, and there's going to be a body belly block buildup. Did you get that? A bottom belly block buildup that's going to actually be the belly of the plane itself. So the dowels, they're semi-loose right now to allow a little bit of change in movement when I do my alignment on my saddle. But you want to do all this now before you start actually covering these kind of things up. So that's why you kind of to really stop and look and read and make sure you're to a point to move on. Keep double checking yourself. Alright, this here is the berth of the very last wing that I'm going to have to come up with. This is the lower left hand. The lower right hand is finished. And this is the last wing to accomplish on a biplane. Right now we're going to start with the spars. Main spar, all the ribs. Just kind of grows. And again, all I'm doing, you can see this T-pin in front of you here. I'm just T-pinning all of this down to the styrofoam board. That's all I'd use to build. Don't make it so damn expensive that it just drives yourself right out of it. Make it as cheap as you can. Here we are a little over an hour later, and the basic wing is done. This one went quick. After making 3 of them, number 4 has got to be a lot quicker, so this went rather quick. I think that's it for the night. Here is my last bowed wing tip that I'm putting down here in film. I still It's glued in, and all I have to do is just sand off the ends of the main spars, the auxiliary spar, extend that out, make sure this thing isn't going to move. That'll be the main spar and auxiliary spar. We'll bring those out, attach those, and maybe put on an upper skin. And then this thing is ready to come off the board already. This one should go rather fast compared to first one. First one's always the longest. See if I can get a long shot view here. Overall long shot view. Okay. And all I have to do is match it to this one. Right? I have this one done. So all of my aileron, everything I did on this aileron, everything that I had to do for the first time on this one, I just transfer this knowledge to this one. And then when I get to the correct point, we'll put them back down and we'll join them. And then we'll have one complete wing, and we're coming really close to having a biplane here. One day later, on day 31, I have the tip is on, the main spar connections are on, the auxiliary spar connections are on. I shaped the tip in order to get that upper skin on, and it's off of the board now. So now I can go with my inboard wing hard, yeah, you can see it, hard block wing dowel. Same as the other wing. Get my hardwood block in there, drill my hole, set up for my dowel, make sure I'm sitting where I want to. I'm going to have to leave all the tabs on this particular one all the way down in order to maintain a levelness. I'm going to have to put this thing down flat before I can actually go much farther with this wing. I'm going to have to go ahead and join these two. So with this one being level and flat, I can hopefully follow it because this wing's already done. See if you can still see what I'm showing you here. This one being flat on the table, we're going to maintain a certain height of dihedral. We're going to glue them. And we'll actually have our join done. Looks like I can finish some of the upper. I'm going to sand this smooth. Finish some of the upper skin before I actually do that, but getting really close to doing them. Wing join. 5 days later, I think since the last time you've seen it, I've joined the two wings together, and that's really about it. I got the forward skins are on. Leading edge isn't shaped out yet. All I really have to do now is just kind of clean up the middle, finish the center skin, get the aileron in the left-hand side, and clean it up. And it's really close to going into its saddle. This is the bottom side. This is the top side. You can see the dihedral in it. It's got in it now. Now that they're joined together. And slots for that outboard struts that I'm going to plug in here. But this isn't going to happen until, so that's where your struts are down here. But I still got to get this wing into the saddle first. So this wing here, once it's ready, you can go ahead and put the fuselage over the top of it. Set it in the saddle. Set it in the saddle, bolt it down. Once that's in the fuselage, center it to the tail, make sure it's right. Put that upper wing on. Get in the struts. Center it with the tail. And then go ahead and start closing up the fuselage. So we still got a little bit of work to go. I think we're